Hi, I'm Jeremy, and I'm your host of Tell Me Wine TV, where we try to answer your questions about wine right here on the internet. And today, again, we are here with Leo Schneemann.
Hi, how are you?
Of the Upholstery Room and the KGNY group of restaurants here in, currently we're at the corner of
Washington and 11, between 11 and Berry.
Right next to Wallse, right next door, one of New York's, if not the nation's, premier providers of fine Austrian fare and fine Austrian wines. And some people have sent in questions about Gruner Veltliner, which is, I'm going to say, the grape of Austria, the grape that most people associate with Austrian wine. But a fair amount of red wine is also produced in Austria, and that people are probably not as familiar with, if they're even familiar with Gruner at all. And Leo's going to walk us through a couple of examples, just talk about the varietals and what to look for a little bit. So Leo.
Red wine in Austria is getting more and more popular. Why popular? We always used to have white wine production in our areas, but we produced too much white wine, and we didn't make too much red wine. So 20 years ago, the government gave some money to the wine growers if they would blend more red wine than white wine, and we're talking about red wines. The area for red wines specifically is the Burgenland region. Why the Burgenland region? Because it's on the border to Hungary. It's the warmest region in Austria. You get the Pannonian climate in from Hungary. What was that word? Pannonia. Pannonia. That's a climate or an area as well.
We'll try to use that tonight. That word. I'm not sure how. Probably just order a plate of it.
No, and then what are grapes in Austria? Zweigelt, Blaufränkisch, and St. Laurent. I think the most popular one is right now the Blaufränkisch in the United States, but the most produced one in Austria is for sure the Zweigelt, because that's our house wine. Let's put it this way, which is a very robust grape, a very underrated grape, because you can get very smooth, very cherry. You can get very nice wines out of it with cherry notes, and especially if you want to drink red wine and you want to go somewhere where you want to drink a little more, or where you want to drink 2 or 3 glasses, you would do pretty well with Zweigelt, because it's smooth, it's not too heavy, it's very nice. Drinkable.
Right. Now the wines, now you said just 20 years ago the government injected some money into the red wine industry, or red wine growing, but my understanding is varietals like Zweigelt it's a hybrid, correct? And it's like 90 years old. So somebody was thinking about red wine way back when. Is it that they wanted a higher quality of red wines to be produced 20 years ago? Was that the objective, or just to kind of round out what Austria has to provide?
We didn't have enough money, and we imported too much red wine for the government.
Consumption in Austria.
Yeah. Okay. The last time when we met each other, we talked about the scandal, and I don't want to go down to the scandal again.
Were you involved in the scandal?
No, I'm too young for the scandal.
Is your father involved in the scandal?
Well, my father used to work for Volkswagen, so I don't think that he was involved.
All right.
But there was always winemakers like the winery Collins, like the winery Heinrich, or like the winery Schiefer, which did red wines in Austria a long time ago, before the 20 years period, what we are talking about, on a high quality label. And right now I think our reds a little bit, they're not known That's the point. They're not known. I think that they're doing a great job on a high quality level, but they are not that well known.
The varietals.
Yeah.
And
it's very difficult if you. I mean, who can pronounce it Zweigelt or Blaue Fränkisch? I mean, I don't really understand everybody who can say it. You know, that's. Do we have to work a little bit more on the...
Well, I know some people who say Pinot Noir.
Okay, here we go.
but yeah, again, we talk about Gruners and their drinkability and their versatility. Can you say the same thing for the red wines of Austria?
Yes, I'm a big fan of red wines from Austria. Either way, you have the Zweigelt, where I told you that was always our house or table wine, but you can get it in a nice smoother quality, but this wine will never have oak, which will explode, or there's just one winemaker who does it right now. It's the Zweigelt from the winery Schwarz in Austria, in Burgenland as well, and he does this with help from the Napa Valley. Okay. So it's a really nice product, but it's our house wine, and I think we have the house wine on such a high quality that we don't have to complain about it.
Right. And when people come here to the upholstery room or Wallse and they're looking for, you gave me an example of a guy from the Hamptons who was looking for some Cabernet or something of that nature. I mean, how do you get a consumer to go from Cabernet to Zweigelt or Saint Laurent or one of these other varietals?
That's not easy. That's not easy, but you have to make him understandable. First of all, my first question is always, what kind of wines do you drink? What kinds of wines do you want? And then you have to look around that you find something. Of course, we're growing a little bit of Cabernet in Austria, and of course we're growing a little bit of Syrah in Austria. But those grape varietals, they're not getting that big than they're getting on the west coast here, because you need the better single vineyards, and the better single vineyards and the best single vineyards you will always have at Zweigelt or Blaue Fränkisch sitting on. So, but we found for this guy, what we talked about, we found a nice Blaue Fränkisch cab blend, which we really enjoyed at the end of the day. And
are you under the kind of the school of thought that grapes should be grown from where they come from versus, you say, somebody's introducing Cabernet or other varieties? Actually, I see Syrah here.
Syrah, yeah, that's a lot. It was a small production from the winery Axe, which was a pretty good year, 2005. But it is very tough in Austria to bring a Syrah on a level where it is really ripe. To bring a Cabernet on a level where it's really ripe. Right. So we don't have the climate there to make some quantity out of it. And like I said, on the best single vineyard where you would have the sun, where you would have all the different kind of variations, there's still Zweigelt and Blaue Fränkisch on, and will never.
So something for our viewers or our people who are watching this to understand is, and I'm following you, is these varietals are suited for the geography and climate of Austria.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes them, that's why they're there. I mean, and you don't have Tempranillo. There's no Austrian Tempranillo. No. Not one. Don't look. I'm not answering the question about Austrian Tempranillo now. So, and what do we have in our glass?
We do have a nice Zweigelt from the winery Heinrich. You have nice cherry flavors, like you say. You don't have a lot of flavors in there, because it's a very smooth and very bottom line grape.
It smells very ripe.
Yeah, and that's it is a Zweigelt out of the vintage 04. So,
and what was it?
At the vintage 04, 2004. So It's already 6 years old.
Okay, so this has some bottle age on it.
Yeah.
So there we go. So yeah, again, versatile wines like. Well, I mean, I'm not going to even try to relate them to anything because you haven't, so we shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's just another group of wines that people should look for and enjoy. And I imagine just like any, they're from the big leaders with the screw caps or the pop tops up to very fine, possibly age-worthy, refined wines.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. So thank you, Leo.
Thank you.
And in our next episode, I'm going to be talking about the great controversy that struck Austria. Thanks.
Thank you. Cheers.